So I want to help educate. I want to help create habitat. I want to help people get more out of their backyard, get more out of the birds, get more out of nature, let them understand more, because awareness is key. You know, we're addicted to awareness. So be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of what you're doing in your yard. Be aware of what you're creating and what you're helping and what you're not helping. It makes a big difference on both sides of that as to, you know, what it is that you're doing. So planting a specific type of plant in your yard often maybe isn't the right thing. Maybe you're putting the wrong thing in. There's lots of things that we can buy at nurseries and places that are great plants, just to be able to see them in your yard, but they're maybe not so great for the nature and for the birds and for squirrels and rabbits and everybody else. Well, there's not only invasive species, but then there's toxic species that are available at nurseries that you can put in your yard, but aren't necessarily healthy for the things that live in your yard. Rabbits, the birds, those types of things. There was a plant in Utah this winter that killed 74 elk in Utah because people had planted it through this development where the elk interacted and went through this neighborhood, and they were eating all these plants, and 74 elk died because they put the wrong plants in their yard. They were decorative, they were nice, they looked great, but they were invasive, they weren't native. So native plants is very, very important. Plants that produce a food is very, very important. We have lessen the use of pesticides. So our grasses, for instance, that we use often is our Kentucky bluegrass. Kentucky bluegrass doesn't grow in this environment. So the weeds end up being stronger than the grass. The weeds take over, people spray herbicide to kill the weeds, and then they reseed, and then they repeat that year after year or every couple of years or whatever it happens to be. Well, it's doing nothing for anyone. So plant some meadow grasses, plant some shrubs, plant some wild flowers that grow low to the ground. You can get flowers that'll grow 10 inches, or you can get flowers that'll grow 30 inches. So just think about it again, and it's an awareness thing, and it's thinking about how you can benefit you and your environment. And we got to remember, it's not all about the animals and it's about you. What are you putting in your yard? You know, what are you doing? You're living in your pesticides that you put in your grass. They stick signs in the grass and say, don't walk on this for 24 hours. What do you think 24 hours is serving that up? There's a whole new study being done on about toxics of pesticides, on how they're lingering in plants, they're lingering in the soil, and then when we reintroduce a different pesticide or herbicide, that toxic mixture is actually worse than the individual ingredients put together. So there's a whole thing that's happening there. So that's what my purpose is. That's what I'm here for, is to raise that awareness, to become aware of myself and be able to give that message over to other people.